y'all, this is Cindy. I'm the Tireless Tangler. I want to welcome all of you back to the 100 Days of Zentangle Project 2021. Thank you so much for being with me today and every day on this cool artistic journey we're on. Today's tangle is going to be Capullo. It is by Gloria Barocio, and she is a CZT in Mexico, and I'm calling it Capullo because I live very close to Mexico, and I believe that's how you say it. But if I have mispronounced it, you guys grab me, beat me up. All right, so you can call it how you want to, but this tangle is a grid tangle. You gridders have been waiting so patiently for me to get around to a grid pattern, and I'm finally here. So let's get started. Okay, before we get started, guys, let's do some bloody breathing. All right. Deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. You guys are welcome here. We are in a safe place where we can share our art and love for this beautiful art form called Zentangle. Let's start by putting pencil dot in each corner of our tile. I'm going to try to take my time with each step today and learn to appreciate and enjoy what I have. All right, so then I'm going to connect my dots, and since this is a grid pattern, I am going to throw everybody a bone and not do any wacky grids. I'm going to do a straight square grid. I think that is what is going to show off this tangle to its best results, but quite frankly, I've not played with a wonky grid with this, so it might be really cool. I don't know. All right, so what I want in order to get this cool pattern like this is I want four square grids. Okay, does that make sense? So I think and I'm going to go ahead and divide it with my pencil, but of course you can do it with a pen. It's not going to make any difference. So I'm going to mark, well, I'm going to mark my midpoint, my approximate midpoints here. Sort of know, so I know sort of where I'm going. And then I'm going to divide this tile in fourths. That's fairly good for me. It's downright perfect. All right, now it's perfect. Yeah. So what we're going to do is I'm going to draw with my PN. Actually, I think I'm going to draw with my 01 today, but I am going to have my PN standing by because I'm going to ink today, and you know how I am with that. So Capullo is going to be done with, like I said, square grid. And I'm going to divide each of these squares in half each way. All right. And again, it doesn't matter whether you do this with pencil or pen. What we are looking for are the squares. And I'm not going to bother with the outside area. I think once we get this inked, it's going to take care of itself. Now you will notice my squares are not perfect, okay? In Gloria's beautiful example art on Tangle Patterns, her squares are pretty much perfect. So if you feel better about that, you can use a ruler, but I'm not going to worry. It's still going to look really cool, okay? So let's step this out in one square, all right? So what we're going to do, we're going to need to be in tune with our midpoints on these squares, okay? That's where we're going to be working from. So at approximately the midpoint, You want to bring a curved line down into the corner there. Hopefully a little bit more better aimed, a little bit better aimed than mine are. Then we're going to draw a straight line up here close to the corner. And we're going to curve that off on each side as well. Then at the top we're going to draw a sort of a half circle or a partial orb. And now to finish off each one of these lines is just going to go straight down. So we're going to want this angle to be the same angle as this, okay? It's going to be sort of an aura to this center line. So we want these three angles to be the same, right? And then we're going to do the same thing up here. Again, you want these angles to look the same as far as what direction they're pointed. And if you can manage that, then the rest of this is pretty easy, okay? So now turn your tile a little bit, and we're going to do another one pointed this direction, okay? Now you can configure these in a grid however you like, of course. If you are familiar with grid patterns, then you know this. Now, as I showed you here, I have problems with these first strokes. And so what I started to do was do my center line first, and then come from here out, and just finding something that's pretty comfortable. Did I do this right? Yeah. Like this. And then we match up, right? Okay, so I'll stop talking. This will go better that way. And then add the ball. That's how I think of it. Try to keep those angles similar. And there you go. And now for this pattern to continue, we are going to alternate these with the center line going diagonally in different directions. Okay, like this. All right, so let's do another one. Yep, wrong one. Okay, well, I've noticed now that is that right? Now I'm confused. It goes over here. Yep. I hope that's right. Looks good to me. And then we're going to go this way. And this way. All right. Now draw our lines that are parallel to this center one. I knew I was supposed to go to the midpoint. I got lost. There we go. There we go. This is starting to take shape. All right. Remember, when you draw grid patterns, you want to be aware of what's in the square next to you, even though the steps are the same, and you shouldn't have to pay attention, and you don't have to. But in this situation, where we're having things match up from square to square, then it's always good to be aware of that. So now I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to go in opposite directions here as well, diagonally. if I can keep from being confused by this. I have not yet been able to figure out how to get everything even in here, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think we're going to have a nice result either way. And that is the true challenge for a tangle is, can it be done, even if it's not perfect, can it be done well? Does it still have a good, pleasing result? And so that's always fun. Maybe if I do it like this, I won't be so confused. No, I'll probably still be confused. There's a reason grid patterns and I don't get along. And I know you gridders have been waiting so sweetly and patiently for a grid. And all I can say to you is I will really try to keep these coming. It's just not my thing. But again, we are on a voyage of discovery here. The journey of 1,000 tangles. Just kidding. We're not doing 1,000. Don't even get me started on that. I wonder how this would work in a wonky grid. I bet it would. I bet it would work really well. I don't promise that I won't get off of here and go make a wonky grid with this, because fun. All right. I'm just going on each side back and forth from direction to direction. I really think I always seem to get one side a little too curvy and the other side not curvy enough. I'm sort of internalizing this tangle and thinking about it like in ways of things take practice, making variations that would actually work without making a mess. To escape. This is going to work for me. A lot of road noise, but I still have some issues getting it to Saturday afternoon in the big town, which is fine. That it's not so big. I'm not going to sweat it. And my street is busy, busy, busy. It's a decent day outside, so we'll probably have motorcycles. We definitely have trucks. These always seem to be just a little off, for those of you who do the whole English thing. Midpoint, Cindy, midpoint. I don't consider what we do here English. I consider it to be sort of our own American variation. Yeah, I have these lines curving in places. I'm all over the place with this. Same as this, Cindy. Okay. All right. This is working out. If I can keep myself... We're going to see how I do with disappointment today. There is a very good reason why I am not a big fan of grid tangles. Is because I struggle to draw them well. And I really can't blame this on the shaking. It may be that I'm rushing. I don't know. I wonder how cool it would be if I turned this somehow and did something different with this middle section. I think I'm going to calm down today and do this like this. I like to get myself into trouble. It's very exciting. And this is another problem with me teaching grid patterns is I don't go in order and I tend to get moved from place to place willy-nilly, and it's my favorite word today. All right, so this is going to come this way. Try not to get frustrated if you draw them wrong. There is no wrong. I may draw these better going this way. Let's see. Yep. Well, that one ended up being skinny. But I am able to match them up. Did I do so? Oh, no, I forgot this. I was going, where's the ball? There we go. There we go. I am hopeful that you guys who love grid patterns are really going to enjoy this. It has such a lovely outcome. When I saw this, I went, ooh, poinsettias. So, I love poinsettias. It's because my mom did, I guess. Funny how we remember so many things fondly that we don't truly like ourselves, but that someone we love likes. That works. One more. One more, and then I'm going to have to face the dreaded fill, the inking. We're going to make it happen, Cindy. Well, luckily we are inking these, huh? Yeah. Out. I did not do a very good job with these. That is okay. We're about to take this for a ride. See where we end up. I have a feeling it's not going to be anywhere near as bad as I think. Unless I don't stop fixing stuff. All right, so this is what I've got. Bit of a mess, right? But the joy in inking is that it can cover up a multitude of problems for you. So what I'm going to do is ink what we call the interstices. Those are all the spaces created by this tangle that are not actually part of the tangle, if you will. Just the little extra spots. So get a decent inking pen. PN is good, or 05 is good. Just have to be careful in your corners if you've got a larger nib. Or if your hand jerks out like mine does, that's always fun. Here we go. Now we're cooking. All right. All right. So I have been enjoying your comments. Everybody is so interesting. We got a bunch of you guys in Wisconsin and a couple in Washington. I've heard from Australia and New Zealand, which is very cool. Let's see, who else? Simba. Don't make me do a voiceover, buddy. That's not going to work well. Hey. Sim. Apparently somebody is needing attention today. My little ball up here looks weird. There we go. That's okay. Let's see. Where to next? Now, of course, you can fill these with color. I also was doing the little hatched lines on my example, which you can also do if you can't possibly ink these. You can always do little hatch lines. That also gives you lots of texture and character on there. But I want us to both practice grid patterns and practice patience today. So if you're having trouble with your ink pen flowing well, lift the pressure off. The ink is pulled out by the paper, not forced into it. If you can keep yourself from trying to force the ink out instead of letting it flow out, you're going to get much better ink flow. Just take your time. And I'll try to take mine. I'll try to avoid the need to speed things up. So, one of the things yesterday that I did was leave in some of the extra family stuff on the video. And this would be on the Arium video. And one of the reasons I did that was because the interruptions around here are many, and one of my issues is I tend to keep working while I'm talking to whomever might be here, or the dogs or whatever. And so this is a pretty meta pattern, isn't it? These little triangles and then diamonds and then triangles again. That's a cool pattern. But I also figured most of you aren't going to mind knowing what things are like here, sort of in the family type of a thing. And Mari probably doesn't appreciate that I leave those in, but he needs to understand. Not that our lives are public fodder. That isn't it. Although they kind of are, but that isn't my point, though. My point is that he needs to understand what he sounds like, and when he is being disrespectful, and that if what happens on video is negative and casts him in a negative light, then he needs to understand that that's how he sounds. I don't know. I'm sort of two minds about most things. This is why I didn't bother with that outer line. Just going to go right on through. All that will get taken care of here as we go. I did enjoy painting with you guys yesterday. I hope you guys had some fun. I wasn't necessarily pleased with my results because one of the things that I'm going to do to try to keep the videos short enough for me to deal with them is to leave in a bunch of stuff that I would normally take out, and let go some of the finishing stuff that I would normally spend another hour and a half on that tile for, which is basically where we were yesterday. So I finished it as far as the video goes. Then of course I wanted to fix it, make it better, enhance it. How about that? And so so I am keeping the information in the Zia videos very basic on purpose, because I spent a lot of hours on some of this stuff last year. And if you really want to get into things deeply, then you can check out some of last year's Zia videos. There were many. And I think for this year, I want the freedom to add color, but I also need to be able to sleep and, eat, talk to Mari, do school, all that life stuff. So we're going to have to compromise on some of the finishing touch stuff. But let me know what you thought of it. It was an hour, even before I started editing. So that's pretty good. May have been an hour and 3 minutes or something. Mari likes to choose the moments when he knows it's going to irritate me the most to start his shenanigans. It is tough for him. He is not at all engaged at school. And the problem with that is that as good a tutor as I am, and I'm a pretty good tutor, I could definitely help him. But he gets so angry with me, and it's the mom thing that's the problem there. That one didn't quite get even, but that's okay. It's an example of why you want to sort of pay attention to where things are in the squares next to you. I almost left in the argument, but then I thought, no, they don't need to hear that. Let's just put some music on. Still struggling with copyright claims, so sometimes less is more on the music front. I have one that Debussy Arabesque that's one of my favorite things, and I've talked to you about it before, which is stupid. It's just a piece of music, but you know, if I'm paying to use it, then dadgummit, they need to stop disputing my claims. I mean, they need, yeah. They just need to let me have it. Just saying. I mean, the company's involved, but am I going to have to go through the company each and every time I use that piece of music? Because then, as much as I love it, it's not worth it. I can tell I'm pressing harder. Slow down. Not gonna sing. Da 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 da. You gotta make the moment last. Just kicking down the cobblestone. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Feeling groovy. Feeling groovy. Got my bass voice on today. Feeling groovy. All right. Very pretty, isn't it? Even with all my weird lines and shenanigans and things, it's going to turn out really pretty. I'm thinking we might decorate these with a little jelly roll. We'll see what happens. I might not be in the mood then. Shading will be enjoyable, I think, for this. There's going to be a few basic things, but should really enhance this. Very pretty. One of the things I really liked most about this were these meta patterns that appeared as we inked. Remember, light pressure on your pen. Let the paper pull that ink out of there. You don't have to push it in. These pens are well designed. And frequently when I feel like one is going dry, what helps the most is to lighten my pressure on it. Stop scrubbing so hard. I think Simba's down for a nap. Lovely. I'm embracing. Some of you might have your 08s out now. All I can say about that is I wish I were you. My 08s are out of ink. Or there's a good possibility I'd be using one. But again, I'm embracing. And the thing about inking is it makes such a huge difference in the wow factor on your tiles. And so I really should enjoy it, but it just takes so long. Breathe, bloody breathe, Cindy, breathe, 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 breathe. It's going to be okay. Whatever it is that has got you all wound up today, it's going to be okay. It may not turn out the way you want, but whatever it is, it's going to be okay. Okay is kind of a weak word, but sometimes that's what we got. It's better than bad, isn't it? All right. Oh, I love this. As much as I don't like the inking, I really love this outcome. It's just very pretty. So I've gotten lots of positive comments on my nails and no negative ones yet that I've seen, although I have yesterday's video to look at all the comments. I got the first few and then I don't get them. And I had the same problem yesterday that I had the first day with, or the day before, with the video processing taking a stupid amount of time. Until Mari's gone, I'm much more likely to say stupid. We don't say stupid in the house when he's here. So yesterday he was supposed to do this thing. Did I explain this? I can't remember. Do this thing that took, he was supposed to work on it for 40 minutes. And he came back after 15 and said he was done. And I said, well, no, you're supposed to do it for 40 minutes. No, there's nothing else I can do. So I don't get a note back from his teacher to answer this until today. And he's gone to stay with his bio family this weekend. And that was kind of rude. His aunt. And so he can't make that time up. He's going to be doing it in his free time on Monday, his teacher said. That's fine with me. He frequently shades the truth with me when it means being done. One of my biggest frustrations is that his brain is huge. He's so smart. He, as he puts it, he has big brain. And that would be great if he would, use it for good. But he uses it to try to get out of stuff instead of just using the big brain to do the things he's supposed to. I don't know if that's a Mari thing, a boy thing, a kid thing, an age thing, or a mixture of all the above. What I know is that if I don't question each and everything he does, then he gets away with stuff. And I hate that because I have become this punitive figure in his life, and that's not something I want. I tend to, when he's in school, I tend to let the school deal with the discipline issues and leave those from home because we need, I have other battles to fight with him at home, and now that he's at home and I have become this combative figure with him, he is angry all the time with me, and I hate that because, and you guys heard, I'm not yelling at him. I'm just firmly letting him know that he needs to, and he says I'm mean. Well, I'm mean because I don't fall for his lies, but I can live with that. You guys told me like 2 years ago in comments about when we were struggling so much that I just, needed to love him and be patient and all that good stuff. And I do. But I also kind of want to hurt him sometimes. Not really. You know what I mean? I'm just being silly right now. I'm not really serious. I would never hurt my child, and I don't think there's any need to do that physically anyway. I think if you know your child, there are plenty of ways that you can correct their behavior without violence. Not that sometimes a good butt whooping isn't a good thing for a kid. Let's face it, I'm old and tired, and I couldn't do it if I wanted to. He's too big. So we have to have creative ways of having consequence here. And of course, the things that he loves the most are the things that get taken away, which are TV and games, YouTube and games, really. And, I'm just the meanest person ever. And yet, yesterday, when his aunt picked him up, he must have told me 4 times or 5 times that he loved me, and he actually gave me a hug, which I haven't had from him in years. So, yay me. He does love me, and he doesn't like leaving when we fight or knowing that I might be angry with him. And so he called me last night and was trying to tell jokes, and he was sending me videos, and they're cute. My kid is cute. And he, the love is there. I just, does the teenage stuff ever go away? I mean, he's only 11. How's he a teenager? He's 11. By the time he's 17, I'm going to be dead of, I don't know, overwhelming desire to I don't know. Nobody gets your goat like somebody that knows you well, do they? And your kids, they know all your buttons. And the worst part is, of course, that I have the mother's curse, because he is just like I was when I was a kid. We must have corrected our mother every word that came out of her mouth. She used to get so frustrated with us. And Mari is just like that. Sometimes I just want to scream at him. I don't care what came out of my mouth. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway. Sorry, I didn't mean to scream. Just venting a little bit. But, yeah, raising kids, what are you going to do? And this was not, I was at the doctor last week, and this week, or last week. I had a lady that was exactly my age doing the test, and she said, "Oh, I wouldn't have done it. I would not have been able to do it." And I said, "Well, that wasn't where I wanted to be. But, I mean, at 60 and raising a small child or a young child, no. I mean, I'm not 60 yet, but time is coming this year. No, next year. Anyway, either way, if it's this year, it's next year, because I'm not turning 60 this year. I'm just not. That's just where I'm at. It's not that I mind being 60. It's that I have an 11-year-old. And he'll be 12 when I turn 60, so. Crazy, crazy. So, you guys are going to be my listening ear for the next 100 days. I'm sorry about dumping all this on you, but sometimes I just need some good advice from you guys. I know a lot of you have raised your boys, multiples, or girls. I'm not saying that girls aren't a handful too. They're just a different kind of handful. Oh God, I'm so glad I'm not raising a girl. Oh my gosh. That would be scary. In this day and age, to raise a girl, that would be frightening. Raising a boy isn't easy either, but something about girls, they're so vulnerable to everything going on, and so needy for love and attention, and just scary. Let's talk about art again. I'm going to have to do a voiceover. This is getting too needy. I know you guys don't mind. And for that, I give you my deep appreciation. You guys are truly my friends. Even though we don't know each other, I feel like I do know you. Linda Feldman, hi girl. So glad to see you back this year. She started drawing with me last year, I think. I find that very cool. So you new people to Zentangle, drop me a comment. Tell me what you're up to. Tell me how you found the Zentangle method, or if you just found patterns and accidentally happened on the Zentangle method, which is what happened to me. I was probably drawing patterns for a long time before I actually discovered what Zentangle was all about. And I think a lot of people are like that. We find it by learning to draw the cool patterns, but then we start to learn about the Zen part, and we don't realize how it's going to affect us, but it does. And that's truly what happened to me. Is all of a sudden my depression was gone, and I had new hope and new life, and I didn't know why that was until I got my Zentangle primer and started working through that, and I started to see how much thought and love went into this method. It's just, I can't explain how it has changed my life, and it sounds silly, I know it does, but trapped in a room in a bed for years, expecting that your life is over, expecting that you're going to be alone and nothing's going to happen good for you anymore. And I lost my boy Sean to suicide 4.5 years ago now, and I'm still trying to process my grief over that situation, because I've been angry for so long about him leaving me with, not just leaving me, but leaving me in such a mess with his family and the kids and all of that. So I am just now that the fighting is over, I am now able to start to process his loss. I think he has been on my mind a lot lately, and I think that's basically what it is I just have not been able to be in a place emotionally where I could mourn him the way that I need to, because he was so integral to my life for so many years, for almost 20 years. And I loved him so much. I may not have given birth to him, but I loved him just like I did. Anyway, how do we get so morose today? Definitely doing a voiceover. No, I probably won't. This is how it goes sometimes. If you can process that stuff that happens to you, and I know, grief is not something, it is lonely. Grief is lonely, but it is something that we all share. So feel free to share your grief with me if you want. Some of you, I saw a comment but didn't have a chance to answer it on Instagram. Were asking about, we had been talking, I think I talked in one video, just one, about the possibility of a Facebook group and needing moderators and all of that. And I think somebody wanted to make a comment about that, but wasn't sure where to put that. Put it under the video, whatever video you want. If it's, the reason I like that better than Instagram is because I don't always catch all the comments on everything, and so but the comments on YouTube come up on my tablet screen while I'm working even. So look what we did. That's so pretty, isn't it? I love it. Let's get it out of that glare. Gorgeous. Okay, so for shading, actually, before I stop, where are we going to put our chop? I'm trying to figure out how to work this stray line into my chop. I haven't figured it out yet. Oh, what if we did... Well, I outsmarted myself on that one, didn't I? Oh, I know what I'm going to do. check this out. So I should do it like this. Yeah. See? You want to try something, go for it. And that line looks like it's not even there. Here we go. Now, how much fun was that chop? I tell you. I tell you. All right. Now, let's get our pencils out. See what kind of fun and shading we can have. And then it's going to be all for today. So, one place that I really want to put some color is right here at these tops in this little V shape. So that we've got color around there and then the top part sort of blank. Or that little crescent moon shape. Like that. That's going to orb these up really nicely as far as that goes. Now again, you can shade this the way you want to. These are just my ideas. I don't have any rhyme or reason for these. This is what I want to do. So you guys make yourselves happy. If you want to do this, go for it. I may or may not like that in the end. I don't know. That's why God made erasers. River just stopped eating and looked at me like, erasers. For a small dog, she sure can put the food away. She probably eats at least as much as Simba. She's about half his size. Oh, that's Simba. Eat up, buddy, eat up. Sounds like a Hoover, doesn't he? All right, let's do these. Okay, now let's do these internal ones. So when we do these brand new tangles, I'd be interested to know in comments if you guys have drawn them before, if you've tried them out on your own. Some of these that I have not even come close, despite the fact that I have more than 300 patterns up right now on this channel. I still don't have time to draw them all. So, all right. So now, I think I'm going to put a little color down in the centers here, but I'm not going to spread it up very much. Actually, so what if I shaded where these look like they're overlapping? I could do that, but then would I do that on both sides or just one? The other thing I was thinking about is what if you, like here in these situations, what if you shaded every other one. Does that make sense? Like all the ones on one side. Yeah. Would that enhance the folded look? I'm going to try one. I'm going to put the graphite on really gently so that if I want to erase it, I can. I kind of like this. Let's blend this real quick and see what we want to do. I frequently change my mind after I try things with shading, so it's all right. I've misplaced my mono zero, so that's the end of the world. All right. So I'm just going to gently spread this out. I'm not going to push it down very hard, again, in case I want to erase. But I really like this. That whole origami look, maybe. What do you guys think? I'm definitely going to be cleaning these out. And somebody also suggested kneaded erasers. Those do work great for lightening highlights and bringing back all of that. And they're also much more gentle on your paper. So that's also something to think about. I just want to get some of these where approximately where I want them, and then look at this and decide if I want to go full out like this. I really do like that. Let me blend this up too so I can tell. I'm going to hold it out. Hold on. I always have to remind myself to look at it at arm's length. I like this alternating shading thing. I did not blend this yet, though. Let me look at this. Really need my little tortillon for this business. But kneaded erasers are fun. The reason I stopped using a kneaded eraser is because it hurt my hands to work it as much as it needed to be worked. Although it's probably good exercise for them. Okay, so this is what we have with the middle shaded, right? This is what it looks like when we shade in this manner, right? And then I would probably, I don't know, I really like the way this looks, but this is also really dynamic, I think. And so, I don't know. I think I'm going to alternate every other one. See where I end up. Yeah? All right, kids. Let's go. Yes, I'm still going to do this. Let's see. Oh, no. That's what you get when you don't clean the other end of your paper stump. You get green. All right, so I'm just going to finish up by doing every other one. I'm just going to do the same side and alternate, skip every other one, and put my pencil in that spot, and then skip the next one. I think this one needs help up here. This has been pretty relaxing. The inking didn't make me too crazy Although I did spill out all of my guts to you. If there's a voiceover, then you'll know I took all this out. And if there's not, you'll know I just didn't care. Sometimes when the videos are long and I start getting it, you know, and I'm in hour 6, I'm like, I don't care. I don't care if I said something awful. I don't care. Just make it go away. Yeah, it's tough. Don't get overwhelmed with graphite on these. Again, this is why I use an F pencil, because I like to be overwhelmed. I really liked that look, though. Too bad I'm messing it up. And this type of shading you could also do with a colored pencil and put some color in this very easily, I think. Of course, that's just me. I really love black and white art. Not everyone is drawn to that, but I love it. And after being Annie's student for so long, I love it even more. You know, I was amazed when I stopped being afraid to shade and started really getting after it. So I was looking at Annie's shading offerings now, and she doesn't have the ebook anymore, but she does have a lesson that's called Shading Fearlessly now, that's got probably everything in the ebook plus a bunch of other video stuff. And so I definitely would recommend that if you guys really want to learn how to shade well. Do not think that I can teach you that. That is not something I can teach you. And I don't want to, because it requires way too much thinking and it disturbs my zen. And I like my zen where it is. All right, one more. What do you think so far? Can't tell with this light, can you? Yeah, it's not even better, is it? It is not. Well, you'll be able to tell better when I get it up on Instagram, because that just really helps. I can take it and take the pictures with my iPhone, and they come out even better than the ones I take on my iPad. And anything that's done under this light is just silvered out everywhere, grayed out. And so, yeah. I may come back through here with a colored pencil. If I were going to use a colored pencil, which colored pencil would I use? It's a good question. I might have to get out purple. Because, you know, I'm a purple person, and so I go out of my way to not use purple, because I realize that I go crazy with it. So every now and then on this channel I'll do something in purple, but for the most part I try to stay away. But I do gravitate to all of the colors that go with purple. So greens and blues and pinks, orange, some reds. Can you guys hear River? That dog is the loudest snorer I have ever owned. She's so funny. I think yesterday in the video, all of a sudden, when it was really quiet, and all of a sudden I hear this, and I was like, God, I hope they don't think that's me. She's nuts. For a little dog, she is nuts. I think that's because she has that kind of squat nose. Maybe she's just got, maybe she needs a CPAP machine. What do you think? She might. Too much snoring. So I'm going to be 2 months trying to get them both vaccinated. It's expensive babies. I can't afford to do them both at the same time. So River is going first since she is new and we need to make sure she's healthy. Yep, let's do. Yeah, I'm a little bit stuck on this, but I'm doing it anyway. I just think it really adds a lot of definition. Okay, so I'm switching out my paper stump for a tortillon. It's coming apart at the end, but I think I can still use it. Let's see if we can blend some of this. Probably have to come back in and re-emphasize some things with my pencil. Wow, this became a lot more interesting, didn't it? Oh, sorry about that. That was my Green Nightmare one, wasn't it? River, no. No. River. No. Baby. Hey. River. Come here. River. You want to come up? Simba's looking at me like, you traitor. You traitor. Sometimes she is just ornery. She will jump right up on my bed where, that's his spot. He does not approve of that at all. He just sits there with his eyes really wide, looks at me like, are you really going to let her do that? She doesn't last long. She has a chair in here that she likes to sleep in, which works for me because Simba's always got my feet warm. God, he's a good foot warmer. He's just really heavy on the legs. Only part of my body that ever gets cold is my feet. My hands too sometimes. Mostly my feet. All right, these are looking good. Yeah, I like this shading. I think these, especially this little extra bit here, I think that really accentuates what we're doing. I will come back in after I've smoothed things out and add more graphite right there. So that we have something that is reasonably dramatic, or at least dramatic enough for me. You do not have to shade as much as me. You don't have to shade at all if you don't want to. This is very lovely on its own. But I think shading just brings it to the next level. I'm a lot more happy with this than I was when I started. And you notice all those lines that I was freaking out about. By the time you get to the shading, the line work is almost insignificant. It's more about the overall look. Okay, where did I forget to blend? Right here. I'm going to leave that. All right. Yeah. So I'm going to take my pencil and just darken this just a little bit right here along this line. missed a spot, didn't I? Make sure I got the right end. So we were here for when that happened. There we go. Much better. All right, where was I? Here. And again, you may not want to put this much effort into your shading, and you do not have to if you don't want to. This is just my thing. And once you blend, if you have an area that you want darker down in a crease, that is the perfect time to add that to the very edge. Once you've blended it, then your sharp edges are pretty much gone. And you can really get in there with a bit darker color. You may notice that I am rotating my pencil constantly in my hands. It's because the sharp point changes, dulls, and if I rotate it, then I keep my tip sharper. All right. Just in the creases. Just want to darken that a little bit. All right. Got it. And this one. Oh yeah, I'm really pleased with this. I think it turned out very well. One final thing I might try is where is my jelly roll? I don't know how this is going to look, so I'll try it for you and you can decide for your own. But I'm wondering if I put some of this up here, if that would make any difference. Probably not a lot, but it might whiten up this highlighted area here. Just a little bit to give it some oomph. You guys know I like that word, oomph. Power, drama, passion. These tens, these Jelly Roll tens are great for this kind of thing. The ink just flows out of them and you don't have to constantly be restarting them, usually. Even tens can run into issues, and so, let's see, did I get them all? It doesn't make a big dramatic difference, but it does white that up just a little bit. And remember, these tiles are off-white, so it can help just a little bit to brighten that. Now, you don't want to scrub with your pencil too much, or you'll end up with gray there. And you don't want graphite up in the barrel of your Jelly Roll either. All right. There. Now we're cooking. There. That is where I think I'm going to leave it. I just really love this grid pattern. I haven't had time to play with any different configurations, but I think she has an example on Tangle Patterns where she's got them all turned the same direction. So you might want to check that out. What did you guys think of this? Let me know in comments. I would really be interested to know. You gritters should probably like it. You organic people, you might like it, you might not. Let's see. All right. Thank you guys so much for being with me today. I'm going to see you tomorrow.